Hey, what's up, readers and shakers? It's time for a new horizon in literary talk. Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions is a literary lounge for readers who want to make informed decisions on how they spend their reading dollars. Each Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, authors will join us in the lounge for real talk with real readers. Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. This is the place to be for the best in literary conversation. See you there. Hey, what's up, readers and shakers? This is your girl, Rhonda M Lawson, and we are back for a new edition of Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. Tonight, joining us in the studio is Miss Vera Warren, who is the owner, the pioneer of the Black Bookstore Community Book Center. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me, Rhonda.
No, thank you for being here. So before we jump into everything that I want to talk to you about, the first thing I want to do is just, can you tell me about the history of Community Book Center? How did you get started, and how did you keep it going for so long?
Well, Community Book Center was started in 1983, and it really started more as a community service than as a business. I was a substitute teacher at the time, and I was looking for a means to make sure that the primary students, which was African American students, had reading material and other educational materials that positively reflected them, their history, and their culture. And in most of the classroom libraries, there were none such books. And as a substitute teacher, going to different schools, I realized that there was just a problem, not in just one school, but in various schools. So I began to bring my personal books to the classroom, sharing it with the students, and I noticed that it had a profound effect on them to be able to see books and other materials that had pictures that looked like them and their cousins and had shared similar experiences that they did. So I began to share my books, and the teachers and everybody wanted to borrow them, but I didn't want to do that because sometimes you never get yourself back.
No, you are so right.
So I learned from that experience, and I began to order just a small order of books, and then I would sell them, and then I reinvested it, and I kept doing that for a while, and then before you know it, it became real popular because I was the only person at the time selling African-centered books 365 days. Now, occasionally, you could go to some of the big box stores and find a little table in the back during Black History Month, but we were bringing the information and the knowledge to the people 365 days.
And that's awesome. And now, over the years, it's just continued to grow. How did it become almost like a cultural hub? It's like, even if you don't go to buy books, people are going there because they want to soak in the knowledge. How did that happen?
Well, as I said before, back in the day when we first started, the product that we offered was very unique. People could not find it readily. So whenever we would travel to book fairs and other conferences, and we would set up tables before we actually had a storefront, people would be interested in us, and they wanted to know where we would be next. And then once we did get into a storefront location, which we've had several over the past, over our history, people began to come, and it was not only a place where you could buy books, but it was also a place where folks gathered to have discussions and just share knowledge and information with each other. And then that kind of vibration just grew and passed on. And like I said before, when you're in almost like in a cultural desert, and there's not many places where you could go and converse with other people and share with other people, it just kind of caught on. And so people just from time to time, locals, visitors, and the like would just come by, and that's Community Book Center has developed that reputation.
And you certainly have. I mean, people come from out of town and they want to come to Community Book Center.
Yes, and it poses a good challenge to us sometimes because oftentimes at holidays and before and afterwards, we would really like to take a break and be off. But sometimes we realize that when other people are off, we need to be open because that is the time that they're more likely to have an opportunity to come by and visit us. So people, generally, particularly post Katrina as well, people are in town for holidays and special gatherings. They make a point to come by and visit us to see what's up and everything like that.
So you've been able to meet a lot of people that way, I'm guessing.
We have met a lot of people that way, and also over the years, we were at one time the book vendor at the Essence Music Festival, and during that time, people would come from all over the country, particularly from obscure places in the country, small towns, where not only did they not have a black bookstore, but they didn't have a bookstore, period. And when they would come to the Essence Festival, they would see the large array of books and other items that we offered, hundreds of titles that were available. And year after year, we began to establish a following from that as well. So people would come back and look for us, and they would stock up, at that time. And really, that was a game before online sales
Right.
really took off.
And that brings me to another question. I want to get back to the Essence Festival a little bit later, but one of the things I wanted to ask you is you've seen, I mean, at one time there was a big boom of African American owned bookstores all over the country, even if it may have just been one bookstore, it may have been two. I think New York and Maryland, they had like maybe 4 or 5 bookstores.
Almost chains.
Right, exactly. But a lot of those bookstores have gone away, but community is still here. Why do you think that is?
Well, I won't tell you the truth. But I think that over the years, and I said before really the advent of online sales, when people in our community felt a certain loyalty to the bookstores that provided the information and everything to them when they could not get it any other way, people would just, come. And then also realizing that black bookstores, independent bookstores, and other cultural centers such as that are more than places where you buy books.
Yes.
They're cultural hubs,
Yes.
they're meeting places, they're resource centers. So that is the sad part, with bookstores closing at an alarming rate due to the advent of large online, Amazon, discounters, Walmart, etc.
Well, to me, I mean, Amazon is great. If I need a book right away, yeah, of course, I can turn over in bed, go to my laptop, and I can order the book. But if I want to know a little history on that book, or maybe there's another book that might be a little bit more suited to the information that I'm looking for, I won't find that out unless I go to the bookstore and talk to somebody who has that knowledge, which is one thing I've always appreciated about Community Book Center. I could go in and say, I'm looking for a book on such and such. And you can give us 3 or 4 different examples of books
Right.
in your store.
Right. Generally, that is how it is. However, the point and click is where folks are. So I think that we're finding ourselves more and more challenged. I think that for our survival sake, we have to work toward reinventing ourselves and trying to provide other services to our communities and continue to do that until at which time our community feels that they no longer need our services, and then we move on. And I
We
think
can't have that happen.
unfortunately
Yeah.
that's what has happened to many of the book centers around the country.
Now, you mentioned other services that you offer, so we can go to community not just for books anymore.
Not just for books anymore. We are very happy to have been the recipient of a makeover, if you will, a total redesign bill that was granted to us from the Tulane University School of Architecture, their students, and the Tulane City Center. They spring of 2016, they redesigned the book center, and now we have open space and a special seating area where we can do field trips for students and small groups, as well as a multi-purpose venue where people have rented the space for baby showers, wedding showers, a play. We've had a run of a full-length play. And there are multiple conferences, workshops. So the space has been used for a number of different reasons. So we different ways. So we're happy to have that versatility.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just imagining a play taking place in the bookstore. I think it's actually perfect.
Yes, it was actually originally a play that was written and directed by a local writer, McCormick. I'm skipping on her name because it's a lot of them, 13 Sisters and Brothers, but it was Black People's Problems. And it was a comedy, but it was really serious, and it was good. And it ran for like 2 weekends.
Okay. That's interesting. And then I also was there, and you had the New Orleans do a pop-up shop there.
We did. We have, and that's another thing. We do a lot of pop-up shops and pop-up events that provide other opportunities for local businesses, artists, entrepreneurs, chefs, and just other business people who don't have physical locations but want to create an opportunity for themselves to meet and greet other, customers, and they just pop up and have a great time.
Awesome. Well, on that note, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and then we will be right back with Ms. Vera Warren.
This is Jill Samuels with Faith That Works. Join us every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time and 12 noon on New Orleans Talk Network as we change the lives of people with the Word of God by equipping the body of Christ to evangelize the world while reconciling people back to God. Let us continue to carry the water to the desert because Jesus is the living water.
Stop this hauling water to the sea.
Happy Merry Mondays. It's your girl, Mary J. I want you to tune in with me to Real Talk with Mary J on New Orleans Talk Network every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Then follow me to blogtalkradio.com/Real Talk with Mary J at 10 p.m. It's going to be a Merry Monday every Monday at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. You've just tuned into New Orleans Talk Network.
Hi, I'm Linda Lewis with Lewis Armstrong Family Services here live at New Orleans Talk Network. We're here every Thursday at 11 a.m. Come join us. Thank you.
Our listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504 341-8255, the New Orleans Talk Network.
We are back with Miss Vera Warren Williams.
Williams, that's right.
I neglected to say all of the last name the last time.
21 years.
Yes, we cannot leave off the last name. So we're going to make sure we get this right for the rest of the show. Vera Warren Williams.
Yes.
So I do want to kick off. We were just discussing just before the break ended about the locations. I absolutely love the location you're in now, but you said you've been in a few locations since you started. Can you talk about some places in the city where you've been?
Well, as I mentioned, we started as a home-based community service in the lower Ninth Ward in my parents' home. And from there, I had a short stint in a gift shop called Greenery Everywhere, Sister Denise Ballard on Poland Avenue. And from there, we went to our location in Tremay, which was on Ursulines in St. Claude. Now, we stayed at that location for roughly about 6 or 7 years. Then we moved into a location on North Broad. Many people remember that. We were right Broad and Bienville across from churches and diagonally across from, at that time, Swagman's, which is now the Whole Food building. So we stayed there for, again, another 7 years or so until we moved in 2003 to our current location on Bayou Road. And at the time, we were attracted to that area because the store on the corner, Positive Vibrations, many people remember them. They sold cultural items, clothes, and T-shirts and everything. We were drawn in that area. And shortly after that, Hurricane Katrina hit. And the business of rebuilding came up, so that we rebuilt, we opened our doors again, and we've been going at it ever since.
And so that was actually the location, of course, where you remained. You decided not to leave that area even after Katrina.
No, we did not leave, and one of the great things about it was for our 20th anniversary, we determined that if we were going to continue to do the work and serving the community the way that we wanted to, we needed to establish a solid foundation, a home front, where we would not be forced to be move or have to continue to move. So we invested in that property, and we purchased that property in 2003. So it was not an option really just to break ties and leave, but to rebuild. And it was important to the community at the time because even though we were not fully back, as we were rebuilding, people from throughout the community would come by, and that became a place of respite for folks to come. And it's like, y'all got to come back, so that they needed to, when they needed a break from their rebuilding project, they would come by and, decompress and then, get recharged and go back and finish doing that. And we've been fortunate to have great neighbors on Bayou Road, and we have developed that area into a very nice cultural commercial corridor.
So you have a lot of visitors from out of town who come just to walk up and down that
corridor. Exactly. And we've had a lot of businesses that have been there for a while, and we have a lot of new businesses that are that are coming. Starting from Club Caribbean, moving on down, we also have the Joe Mitchell Center, which is further down. But in our particular block, we have the Aftermath Hair Salon and Barber. New, they're waiting to open up the Cupcake Fairies.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, they're going to have gourmet cupcakes.
I'll be there.
Cocoa Hut, well, you know, the Caribbean restaurant.
Yes.
And just newly opened, Mark Jahari Laws has opened up the Half Shell with charbroiled oysters and all delicious. He claims he has the best gumbo in town, and it's pretty close to it. And we also have just opening up Material Life, which is another art and culture shop. Mm-hmm. And we're looking forward to, across the street, we have Keisha's Keys to Beauty, artistry now. Another mainstay on the block is King and Queen Emporium. Across from them is
That's amazing.
Yeah, Pagoda Cafe, coffee shop. Just all the way down, we even have the Uber, Kitchen Witch, P. Rose. Everybody loves McHardy's Fried Chicken, which is around the corner.
Yes.
Journey Allen, who's an artist, she does paint parties and paint and sip. She just opened up on Broad, which is right there near Columbus. And we have Domino's Records.
Yes.
And so we have a lot of things going on right there in our...
And it seems like all the businesses there basically support each other, work together. It's not a competition thing or anything like that. Everybody just comes together, and it's like a family there.
Yes, we do work together, and we are trying to build a tight, cohesive link. We are in the midst of a development. The church building that has been vacant for a while will be the new home to Southern Repertory Theater.
Oh, wow.
There.
Right there where all of the murals are painted?
The murals were done, and it is a story. It tells the story of Andrew Caillou, who was a soldier in the Civil War, and his funeral was held at St. Rosalima Church. Really against Catholic laws at the time to have an African American funeralized in that church. And that beautiful mural was done by Brother Langston. I think his name is Allgood. It's the last name, but Langston is the artist. And our mural, we're so proud of our mural on our building, which is done by none other than B. Mike, Brandon Odom. So we're proud to have his art grace our building.
Yes, I mean, you cannot miss that mural as you're driving down the street. It's so big. What's wrong? Okay, it's so big and it's colorful. I mean, it just captures your attention as you're driving.
Yes, folks say that they can see it from Broad Street.
Yes.
And that's an attraction to them, to the area. So we're really, really proud of how it's helped to liven up the area.
Awesome. So let's see. I, as a tourist, hear about the Bayou Road Corridor, as you call it. So I pull up, I can get something to eat, I can get my hair done, I can get my books, I can get my skin products. I can walk down a little bit further, and there's a little walk-up bar there now.
Yeah, there's cocktails, and there's all sorts of
we
things.
Can basically spend all day on that street.
Right. And on the island, we have Manny with Fruit Orleans.
Yes.
So you can have fresh fruit served
I love that fruit.
Yes. So we encourage folks, locals as well as visitors, to come by and visit us on Bayou Road. We've been also fortunate to have the support of the Broad Community Connections and Brother Deshaun Jordan, who has been our intern, also known as DJ, who has been really helping, giving us support. Yes. Also, Miss McKenna with McKenna Publishing, She's been very supportive.
Awesome.
In the New Orleans Tribune in terms of helping to ensure economic development and sustainability along that corridor. And we just want to put our hats off to DJ, who will be leaving real soon, going to graduate school.
Okay.
Only to get more knowledge to come back. He's working on his degree in urban planning, and he's going to MIT for graduate school.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we wish him the best.
Yes, we do, because MIT is nothing to sneeze at.
No, it's not. And he is not either. So he's helped us to, create different opportunities, instrumental in us having the bike festival, which was held a couple of months ago in April on Bayou Road. And like I said, we're beginning to, along with our neighbors and our partners, beginning to do more activities. We're looking forward to a second Saturday series of events kicking off this August with a back-to-school rally and drive and giveaway. So just stay tuned for the best of Bayou Road.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. And I'm really interested in the back-to-school rally that you'll be doing.
Well, it's all of the businesses working collaboratively together to gather supplies, and as well as we're hoping to be able to bring Listen Fest back to Bayou Road, which was a partnership between Community Book Center and 2 Cent Entertainment, which is Brandon B. Mike Odoms and Kevin Griffin, where we would give away books to help local families to build their libraries and to promote literacy. So we're looking at doing more activities such as that along the corridor.
Okay, well, we're going to take another break, but when we get back, I actually asked a question on Facebook, why are independently owned black stores so important? So I would like to discuss some of the answers that we've received so far.
I'll be interested in hearing that.
All right, Nelson, we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
What's up, readers and shakers? It's your girl, Rhonda M Lawson, sending you a personal invite to the Literary Lounge. Tune in to Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions each Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for the best in literary conversation. Each week, a different author will join us to talk to their most important readers, you. You can also call in to ask your own questions. So don't forget, each Wednesday at 7 p.m., join us in the lounge for Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. See you there.
Here at Jones Insurance, your full-service agency, let us take care of all your insurance needs. We provide homeowners insurance, flood, rental, commercial, auto, and life insurance. Don't let the unexpected tragedy destroy your family's future. Here at Jones Insurance, 7603 West Bank Expressway, Monroe, Louisiana, 772. Contact Lois at 504-348-1492.
There's soul food, and then there's food for the soul. At a time where we live to eat, the Praline Connection restaurant serves up recipes that reach back into days long gone. You know, the kind of meals your mama cooked up for Sunday dinner. Fried chicken with macaroni and cheese and candied yams, homemade meatloaf with garlic mashed potatoes and string beans, or Nolan's filet gumbo. That's the real soul you get only at the Praline Connection restaurant. located at the corner, Charters and Frenchman Street in the Marinade.
I'm just telling some
Great
people.
comments.
Yes, they are very great comments. I was just telling some people that we're about to start discussing their responses. So what did you think about some of the responses?
Well, I thought that many of the responses were like right on. We recently had a conversation during our Home Fest activities, which we were glad that you all were able to bring the literary takeover
Yes.
to our audience. But we had a discussion on Saturday about the relevance and importance of not only independent Black bookstores, but also cultural arts organizations and institutions. And as one of the comments were just remaining relevant in the digital age. And I think that that's really important that not only bookstores, but independent businesses have to stay relevant with the times.
Yes.
It's challenging for us, particularly since we were established long before internet was really popular. So we're learning we have to grow and to remain relevant, as the comment said, in the digital age. Mm-hmm. Also being able to recognize and to service a target market, but also opening our selves up to service other people. Community Book Center, even though we specialize in books by and about people of African descent, our audience is global. We service and we deal with all walks of people. As a matter of fact, all groups, people are welcome, and we have meetings and discussion groups that also use the space. So we have a diverse audience that we service, and we welcome folks, from all races, creeds, religions, backgrounds, nationalities, to not only come and patronize us, but, to share and learn. Because I believe in the beginning, one of the motivating factors, I think that because people are not aware and they lack knowledge about people, period, in their history and culture, we allow our ignorance to and our biases to guide our actions. But I think once we learn more about people and realize that we're more alike than we are different, then everybody benefits.
Yes, absolutely.
So the other thing I just wanted to say is that we're becoming more and more family and children centered.
Yes.
So we have more activities, and we're looking at having more product lines geared toward young people and really stressing literacy on an early level and having book clubs.
And that was one of the things I was going to say is I see a lot of parents who are bringing their kids in and getting them to find a book to read.
Yes, and we also encourage schools and other educational institutions to consider ordering their classroom and their school books from us. It's an opportunity to support a locally owned business, as well as we do for volume sales, offer discount. I noticed one of the person's comments was that we are not competitive with the pricing. Well, it is hard for small businesses, no matter who they are, to compete with larger chains and mega businesses, because they're buying at a larger volume and their distribution is larger. But I think overall, when you think about the value that you get from personalized attention, then I think that might have some.
Yeah, and I do agree with you. I mean, a book might be a few cents more than what they might get on Amazon or another online bookstore, but they're not going to get that same level of service. You're not going to get that same level of knowledge by just going to an online store and clicking on a book.
Right. I think the other thing is the tricky part about book sales is most times the suggested manufactured retail price is posted on the book.
Yes.
And there's only a small percentage that booksellers make off of the sale of the book. So when folks are usually dealing with other retail items such as clothing or other things, and they're accustomed to 70 and 80 and 90% discounts, I tell young people, especially my son, is that is the price that it should have been
In the first
originally.
place,
Right.
yes.
And then, even then, they're not losing anything. So it's really kind of difficult in the publishing sense, and you understand that you can't offer big, deep discounts because the discount that you receive
It's gonna be
from
to
the
your own
publisher or the distributor is small. And so, but we try for volume and large school orders to offer a school discount.
And I think that's wonderful. When local schools can support local businesses, I think we all win.
Right. And I think the other thing is, too, we oftentimes forget that when we're looking for support, be it taking out an ad or doing a commercial, or someone is doing a fundraising activity, we tend to come to the people who are in our neighborhood and our
Yes.
community for our support. But then it doesn't reciprocate, because when your grandchild is running for queen or king of the church, you don't go to Amazon and ask them to take out an ad so that they can win.
Right. You're right.
Keep it real. And oftentimes, our local small businesses, oftentimes back in the day, I know coming up, supported our recreational teams and our dance troops and different things like that. So I think that.
Well, I think you make a very good point, because you're absolutely right. When, because I know I do a lot of fundraising for my daughter, and you're right. A lot of times it's harder to go to the big corporate places.
Right.
So we're going to our local businesses. But if we're not supporting our local businesses,
we can't support you.
Exactly.
That's how it goes.
And that's a big thing to look at. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes. But we like to continue to support each other. And like I said, the businesses on Bayou Road, we're working together collaboratively to support each other as well.
Awesome. Yeah, we actually have two of the authors from Saturday who are viewing the
Live?
broadcast. Yes.
Great.
Sharon Monet and Charmaine Lawson. Charmaine Lawson had the Nola the Nurse series, and Sharon Monet had the Stop Asking for Permission and Give Notice.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Both very well received. The Nola the Nurse has really taken off, and we're excited about carrying a larger line of her products, as well as having a special event specifically for Nola the Nurse. My husband gave his granddaughter Nola the Nurse, the doll, and one of the books for her birthday on yesterday. And she was very excited. He said she was saying, "Oh, look at Brooklyn the Nurse." So she had already assigned herself to being a nurse.
Well, Charmaine says she's looking forward to working with you.
We're looking forward to working with her as well.
Awesome.
And I think that we all should stop asking for permission and just,
give notice.
Give notice.
Yeah, I'm really loving her title. And I think it's something that we can all learn from, because many times we wait to see if somebody says it's okay
Approval.
for us to do something.
Right.
Instead of just doing it, because many times people are going to just come back and say, thank you for doing that.
Exactly. Where have you been all my life?
Yes.
Where have I been all my life? Right.
So yeah, I'm really having fun promoting Sharon and getting her book out there, because there's so many people who can learn from that.
Yes, yes. And we were also fortunate during Home Fest to have Dr. Sheikah Square.
Oh, wow.
She's the author of 21 Day Word Revolution. And on Sunday, we had a children's event with Alex McConduit and his book, Snowballs for All.
Okay.
So he read and shared some of his other self-published titles, The Lil Who that wouldn't have something, but it was really, really interested and it was well received.
Awesome. Now, while we're talking about authors, whenever I told people that we were going to community book centers, so many authors are saying we've got to support Miss Vera because you have supported so many authors over the years. I mean, back when I first started writing, the first thing we would do was say, okay, if we're coming to New Orleans, we have to go to Community Book Center. We were also talking about African American books at that time as well, Afro-American Book Center at that time. Right, but when unfortunately Michelle closed down, you were the person that we came to, and you always let us in.
Right. Yeah. Well, again, since 1983, we've been working to provide a venue and a space for authors and their talent. And again, going back to when we were the producers of the Book Emporium at the Essence Festival, not only did we highlight the featured seminar authors, but we wanted to create an opportunity for other best-selling authors as well as up-and-coming authors to have an opportunity to meet and greet their readership and to be exposed to that large, vast
I
amount
always
of
said
readers.
that was the specialness that you brought. Specialness is a word, but but that was the specialness that you brought to Essence Festival because people would go in and they knew that you were the person who was running the bookstore. You never stood just behind the register. You were always out there with the people. And then if there was an author around, like for instance, I wasn't signing one year, but there were some customers. Then you say, "Hey, she's an author right there. Here are her books right here."
Right.
So I mean, so even if people weren't signing at the festival, you still made the customers known. You still made the authors known to the customers.
Right, right, and I think that that's important, and I encourage authors as much as they can when they travel throughout the country. So try to seek out the independent Black-owned bookstores if they still exist in your area, or book clubs or organizations, because some people are now going underground and they may not have an actual storefront, but they're still doing literary events and promoting literature to seek
Kim
them
Knight
out.
is that way over in Baton Rouge.
Yes.
You know, she doesn't have the storefront anymore.
Exactly.
But she is very well versed in literature, and she's very active in the literary scene.
Yes, and Kim came through last week, and she was extremely helpful with us processing a lot of our new inventory. So hats off to Kim, and we're looking forward to working with her as well, you know, to produce other events. We're also looking forward to establishing a date with Susan Burton. She has a new book, Reclaiming or Rediscovering Susan Burton, and she's a sister who was formerly incarcerated, and it's her life story and journey through the correctional system.
I see.
And this is a joint collaboration with Sister Hearts, which is a nonprofit organization operating out of St. Bernard Parish in Araby. Shout out to Sister Miriam, who has a thrift store called Sister Hearts. It's right there on West Judge Perez Drive, as I understand. And it helps people who are formerly incarcerated get some of the basic needs, clothing, household items, and everything to get back on their feet once they've re-entered into society.
And that's a very special thing, because I think sometimes when people go into the system and they're incarcerated, they get out, we don't want to give them a second chance. As soon as we find out that they've been incarcerated, we all of a sudden just label them instead of looking at them as somebody who needs a second chance in society.
Exactly.
And then when they go back to jail because they didn't have any other opportunities,
Exactly.
then we say, see, I told you he wasn't any good.
Right.
Yeah.
And some of the biggest challenges people face is housing, and one of the components that this fundraiser that we're trying to, that we will have in the fall will help is to help her to be able to offer some transitional housing for people who don't have resources
Yes.
and support systems coming in. So look forward and stay tuned to book signing with Susan Burton coming down the pipes. We also are looking to have a book signing with Michael Quest,
Okay.
more commonly known with the Take 'em Down NOLA
Yes.
monuments effort, and some other authors, local as well as national, that we plan to be working with and doing other workshops. So it's beyond book signings, but doing community informational workshops.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. It's not just about purchasing books.
Exactly.
I mean, even with the Take 'em Down NOLA, a lot of people didn't understand the significance of that. They were like, "Oh, he's just dividing the city." Those are a big part of history. It may not be beautiful history, but it's our history. Why should they take them down? But if you go to Community Book Center and just read some of the historical books that are right in your store, you can see why this was such a painful issue for many people.
Yes. And I would also just like to add that Mama Jennifer, as most people affectionately know her, Jennifer Turner, has been with Community Book Center for over 25 years.
That's awesome.
And
Yes.
probably 30. She remembers better than I do in terms of dates. Her mind is amazing. She can tell you, like you were saying, passages out of the books or quotes and everything
Yes.
like that. So, having that specialized assistance, someone who is knowledgeable about literature and history to be able to give you, that hands-on experience. I believe that there are very few books that she has not read. So, we're appreciative to Mama Jennifer and the whole team of volunteers that help make Community Book Center.
She is awesome because you're absolutely right. If you go in there and say, I'm looking for a book on the Middle Passage. Okay, well, we have 3 books over here that you can look at.
Right.
And then go over to page 65.
Exactly. Yeah, because in there they talk about this and the other.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's real critical. So we without Mama Jennifer and all of the other hands on deck, of the people that come and just keep the pot stirring, keep it from burning and
Yes.
keep it from sticking. So, and I think that is another thing that has helped other bookstores such as Madu and Essewan in California.
Yes. Caribou over in the D.C.
The D.C. area. Yeah, unfortunately, those brothers were off to really a great start. I'm not sure if they're still doing anything. St. Kofa.
Yep, I remember St. Kofa.
Akibulan, Brother Youssef.
Marcus Books over in
Oakland. Yeah, Akibulan in Nashville. And Troy Johnson with the
Yes.
African American literature.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
I was hoping
done
to
a
see him this
tremendous
past weekend.
tremendous service with his online efforts and blogs and stuff. So, I just think that we need to continue. And I also just want to shout out Brother Hakeem in Philadelphia with Black and Nobel.
Yes.
Tough times for all of us. So, we just sending him positive energy and love and, strength and hoping that he can maintain,
Well,
and the people will support him. Because that's one thing that we would do, I know I would do, is just encourage folks, especially, you know, when they were in town or they come in the store, is tell them to look out for black bookstores in your own town.
Yes.
I know you see all of these books here, but check out the local bookstore. You can find some of the same titles.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. You know, I think sometimes we take our locally owned bookstores for granted because we want to see them there, but we don't always make that effort to actually go there. We know we need a book. The first thing we do is go, all right, let me pull out the
Outside.
computer, or yes, or
Right.
let's go outside. But that same book can be ordered at our local bookstores. And if they don't have the book, which is highly unlikely, but if they don't have the book, they can order that book for you. So if you're going to order the book from an online store, why not order through your local bookstore? So now you're still supporting your local bookstore as well as supporting your local authors.
Right. And I think the unfortunate thing is, particularly in the New Orleans area, most of the big box stores are out, they're not even local. So we have to drive outside of our local area into Jefferson Parish, other areas, in order to get the book. So we oftentimes pass by local independent bookstores to go to a big box store. So we encourage you to just go walk around the corner.
Yes.
You know.
And the thing is, first of all, it's so nice and cool in in the community book center.
Yeah,
You
and
can
it
go over there
takes
and
a
get
lot
arrested
to
for the
it takes
heat.
a lot to keep it cool. That's what we're saying.
And you can purchase your book and then go sit under that pretty bookshelf tree that you have, which I absolutely love.
Yes.
Tarek, our producer, went over there and he fell in love with that. He's like, I've got to do something with that bookshelf.
Yes,
No, it's
yes.
just beautiful in there.
Yes, yes. Well, we're looking forward to, you know, having a little break, you know, a little summer break, and then coming back recharged
Yes.
and able to, you know, offer our customers, you know, better service.
Now, you did have the Save Our Store sale going on. Have you reached your goal with that, or can people still support?
No, we are far from our goal. Folks still can support that. And the primary effort there was to help us with building maintenance. We have a terrible leak, a roof leak, and it has caused us to put one of our restrooms out of commission, and it's threatening the second one. So we know that we have to address that. And everybody knows that having a public restroom is kind of important.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and to have two is really a treat.
Right.
Yeah, special. So we have a PayPal link that
Okay.
people, several people have expressed an interest in helping us to establish a GoFundMe page to help with those things.
So if people wanted to contribute through the PayPal link, where would they go?
I don't know the link right off, but they
Okay.
can hit us up on Facebook on the
Okay.
Community Book Center page.
Yes, so
And,
Community Book
we'll
Center
make sure
does
that
have a
we'll-
Facebook page.
We'll put the link on the Facebook page so that
Okay.
folks can do that. We encourage people to come by and shop, but for sure, we need all the support we can get. And as I said before, the whole Save Our Store thing was really critical during the summer months, because when our expenses are higher to keep the place cooler,
Yes.
our revenue is lower, you know, because people don't come around as much during the summer. So it's really, really hard to, you know, maintain the space during that time. And so having events, you know, where people rent the space is also helpful to us. And we do have lodging available upstairs
Okay,
for
yes.
authors who are traveling in town. There,
And I bet authors didn't know that. I know that a lot of hotels can be very expensive, but Mama Vera actually offers lodging right above the bookstore, so you can do a book signing and then go right upstairs and get some rest.
Right, and we've had several authors to come by and just do like a little writing retreat so that they can have some time to themselves to like write
Yes.
and get themselves together. So we're just looking forward to the fall, and in September it'll be our 34th anniversary.
Amen.
We're looking forward to the continued support of the community so that we can continue. And I might add a point of clarity. The whole Save Our Store was a hashtag that we used a couple of years ago, which was in regards to all of the black bookstores as a result of an article that Troy wrote about the decline of black bookstores around the country. And I think that he had a graphic that showed at one point there were over 400 and now they're less than 50.
And unfortunately, on that note, we do have to wrap up. This has been a very, very informative hour. So I'm sure that some people are now motivated to come visit the stores. Can you tell people where they can find you?
We're located at 2523 Bayou Road, and that's in New Orleans. The zip is 70119. We're right off of North Broad, down the street from the fairgrounds where the Jazz and Heritage Festival is. So it's really easy to find us. If you're coming on I-10 East, you exit Esplanade. If you're coming from the west, you can exit at New Orleans or St. Bernard. But just call us at 504-948-READ, 504-948-READ for more information.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Vera, for coming out and talking with us. And thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to support your local black bookstores. They are very much needed in our communities. So thank you once again. We will be back next week with some more visitors to the Literary Lounge. So you guys have a wonderful evening and a very blessed night, and keep on reading.